David Dodd is the CEO of a company called GeoVax. We've had him on the air. I know, Trace, you don't have to write the symbol down now because you already have it. Okay? Their stock symbol is GOVX. I've got a lot of email every time he comes on the air, and I told him, get me the brains of the organization.
That's right.
Get me the scientists to tell me what's going on. Listen, I love David. I could do a whole show with David, as you well know.
Yes.
But I want to talk high level, and then I want to drill down into what they do. And right now, I am so important. I have this much influence over David Dodd. I got Dr. Mark Newman, who is the Chief Scientific Officer.
Oh boy.
He's like Scotty. Okay, on the Enterprise. Okay.
He's in charge of the lithium.
He's in charge of the lithium crystals.
I can't give any more power, Captain.
I'm spent. Mark, welcome to the program. First of all, you had no idea what he set you up with, did you? You thought you were
absolutely not. You've got me. I'm on the edge here.
But you know, we have the highest technical traders watching us, and the people that don't even know what the Dow is. So we cover the spectrum, and we do it on a very high level here. So first of all, I have to ask you with respect to post 2020 COVID. I think that's the way we should all talk about it. We had a 2020 COVID, then we had a 2021 COVID, then we've got COVID 2.0 or whatever it is. Where are we on the spectrum right now with respect to infectious disease, like COVID and the flu and so on and so forth?
Well, you're going to live with it the rest of your life, right? It's going to be continually changing. We're going to have to continually battle something. I mean, flu is here when you were born. Flu will be here when you die. Now we've got COVID, so it's going to continue to evolve, and you know, it'll be battled. It's going to be an endemic virus, right? So instead of something that is coming in and wiping out a significant part of the Medicare population, it's actually going to be kind of living with it daily. It'll probably become seasonal.
Oh, no kidding.
I believe so. Most of the experts.
Kind of like the flu is, right?
Kind of like the
cold
flu.
season.
It changes your environment. When you move inside, you're more likely to be infected. Mm-hmm. Of course, if the humidity drops, that helps viruses be transmitted, especially respiratory viruses. So
Now you've written over 100 scientific papers. You use the science, and every time you make a statement, I'm assuming you're leaning on the science. And you are known as saying that there's no better bang for your buck than vaccines. Is that accurate?
I'm a big believer in that, yes.
Okay. And
that would be an
which makes me a
opinion,
believer in it because I've got the guy behind 100 papers behind it, so I'm in. That's a hard yes for me.
It's more than 100 papers, by the way.
Okay, good. We'll see. Look at see this. He just nailed it. Which is why he's now the resident scientific editor of the Big Biz Show.
It's 1,000 papers.
You say it on national TV, it sticks. See what you watch yourself into there.
Right.
We'll be talking to you about all kinds of stuff. I have to ask you, I'm now getting my 4th booster tomorrow, which I'm super happy about. Should I just think of this as a flu shot now going on? Drop the name booster and I'm getting my COVID shot this year. And I do it every 6 months or something like that?
It's I think what you're seeing the industry mature to would probably be a yearly booster, especially if you're getting the mRNA vaccines. Mm-hmm. They can make the adjustments fairly quickly. I got mine. Mm-hmm. So I anticipate, it's a good business model, right? I anticipate that they'll adjust it next year if they can.
Yeah, I mean, Everready could make a battery last 100 years, but why would they? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a business model behind the vaccine.
Understand how that works,
business.
right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people who says, I'm fully vaccinated and I still got COVID? It doesn't block the virus, right? Talk about that argument.
Well, so blocking the virus, totally stopping infections, called sterilizing immunity. That's a pretty high bar.
Yeah.
That means you don't get infected. But what happens is if you're vaccinated, antibodies will block a lot of it, and it'll stop. When the virus infects your cells, it's affects one cell, spreads to the next, spreads to the next. What you have to do is stop that spread. You have to get rid of those infected cells. And so that's what a vaccine does. It doesn't necessarily stop you from catching the virus, but it stops you from getting a full-blown disease that puts you in the hospital.
Yeah. So it's sort of, now does it mute the symptoms at all? Because I've seen people pretty sick with the virus.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people who are vaccinated, will now kind of catch a thing. It's a cold, but it's keeping you out of the hospital.
How are you? James, do you feel? Because James and I have had this conversation a long time about people. It's people's choice. How do you feel right now about COVID? Are you still scared of it? Do you think is it endemic to you or pandemic or what, how do you feel about it?
It's moving toward an endemic.
I was pretty scared of the thing in the very beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we all were.
But I had a
because it was-
false sense of, hey, I'm in my studio, so I'm going to be okay, which was not smart.
I think my own personal opinion is people now are more ready to deal with it in terms of, oh, okay, I got it. Well, I now know what I need to do while I have it, and I'm not going to freak out about it, and I'm just going to deal with it and go on and either get my boosters, get my vaccine, or not. Did we ever reach herd immunity? I mean, that was being thrown out like, well, once we reach herd immunity, we're going to be. Did we?
Well, yes and no. Herd immunity means that you've got enough protection enough immunity in the population that you don't get easily. The virus doesn't spread easily from people.
Okay.
But the virus has changed, so the herd immunity is now a little bit old.
Yeah.
And so now you need that herd immunity to adapt.
Okay.
And right now, the human population and the vaccine world is kind of chasing the new variants. You hear about new variants all the time, right?
Yeah.
So that's the issue. This is a pretty unique virus. So.
Just so you know, Costa was the heifer in the herd. Just letting you know.
Yikes.
His name
I
is,
went to school to be a veterinarian originally, so I
So
know
you
that
know.
term heifer, yes.
Yes, you do.
And I recognize them when I see them.
I recognize you from Chem 1A. Dr. Mark Newman is our guest. He's Chief Scientific Officer of GeoVax, GeoVax, our website, geovax.com. Let's talk about GeoVax for a second. You're bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper. You have a unique selling proposition here, and let's talk about what the difference is between GeoVax and what's on the market right now and what you guys are doing.
GeoVax just has a different platform, not just has, but has a different platform for producing a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So we're making a vaccine that will, we believe, be significantly more potent. It will induce a broader immune response. I'm sure you're aware the vaccine booster you're going to get is based on the S protein, the spike protein.
Right.
It's going to induce antibodies and T cell responses to the spike protein. Our products, the most advanced product, induces immune responses to the S protein and the N protein, which is the dominant T cell target. So it's a broader immune response. We're working with MVA. I'm sure David's explained all of this to you. That's a smallpox vaccine. It's approved for monkeypox.
Right. We just talked about that last time.
Yeah, very good for inducing T cell responses. It's very safe, can be used in immune compromised patients. That's why it was developed. So we're actually targeting people that aren't responding optimally, I would say, to the mRNA vaccines.
Yeah. What's interesting, and you brought that up there, is that we're going to be challenged by new infections well beyond COVID, going through our cycle, right?
Yes.
So, when you guys create a vaccine, is that a template for the next disease that comes up? Can you use the same technology that you have existing, or do you need to start from scratch every time there's a new?
We have a whole
sort of
portfolio based on the MVA platform. So, we have products designed to protect against Ebola. So you think COVID's bad? Think about Ebola.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a kind of a plug and play. There's quite a bit of science there. I'm not going to oversimplify it, and it's my job, right? It's got to be complex.
Yeah.
And so that platform can be used for a number of things.
You know what? I want you to come back on the air with us. David who is what I have to say here, pal. No, David Dodd is fantastic. I want to keep him on. I'll tell you what, his name is Dr. Mark Newman. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And I want you via Zoom next time, or you come in studio again. We'd love to have you in studio as much as you can get here.
I want to come in and play with the band next time.
Come on.